this point, we'll stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Supervisor Anita Johnson is not feeling well. She won't be here tonight. Roll call, please. Thank you. At this point, we'll open it up to citizens' comments. Pardon me? At this point, we'll open it up to citizens' comments. Anybody wishing to speak? Anybody wishing to speak? Anybody wishing to speak? Citizens' comments are closed. At this point, announcements of the chair. I want to make a couple of announcements here. The employee family picnic at the county fair, the wristbands will be on sale till this Friday. If you're interested in picking one of those and up, the county fair is going to be the 15th to the 19th. So, also Brookside is having their family picnic on Wednesday the 15th from 10 to 1:30 if you're so inclined to participate in that. At this point, I would ask the county board to stand for a moment of silence for the first county exec, Mr. Dozmagan, and the victims of the tragedy in Oak Creek. Thank you. That concludes my announcements. We'll now open it up to supervisor reports. Any supervisor reports? Seeing none, we will move on. Supervisor Elverman.
Thank you. Very briefly, from Highway Parks and Facilities, we have numerous projects at this time, but everything that is ongoing I've presented to this board. One of the bigger ones right now is Highway K. That's presenting a problem to commuters. That's proceeding on schedule. The Yule House that we had discussed, a group school that was looking at possibly trying to rent that from us, that has been resolved because a church has donated space to the people from that school. But they are still very interested, and we'll probably have more discussions in purchasing that. The county worker that was injured 3 weeks ago on a tractor in Randall Township is still unable to work with neck and head problems. The insurance companies, and I'm sure the Corporation Council are dealing with that. There's a film, we've been doing films in the park for the past 3 years. I believe it's the Muppets at the Silver Lake Park. I was out at the Silver Lake Park last Thursday night, and it is one of the most beautiful beaches you'd ever want to see. Children are able to walk out for a couple hundred yards almost. Water is lukewarm, and they're 8 o'clock. There's the film. It's been very successful, and families really enjoy it. The golf update that I'll give you is that we are doing quite well this year. That can disappear in 2 or 3 bad weeks, but at this point, we are in a very positive mode with the golf courses. And the last item would be the ongoing parking garage that has taken years because the state is involved with some of our bidding and things, and it's been open for 1.5 years or almost 2 years. We have the bids on August 17th for the closing gates and the lighting. and then we will be able to officially start to control a little bit more of what goes on there. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Alverman. Seeing no other supervisor reports, we will move on.
County Executive Appointments. Edward Kubicki to serve on the Kenosha County Human Service Board.
I'll refer this to the Human Services Committee.
Resolution 27. Second reading to required from the Executive Committee, a resolution to repeal Chapter ET of the Kenosha County Policy Manual pertaining to ethics. Gens, yes. Kubicki, yes. Rose, yes. Esposito, yes. Brunig, yes. Alverman, yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Kubicki.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move resolution number 27.
It's been moved by Supervisor Kubicki, seconded by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Kubicki.
This is a housekeeping matter to clean up a duplicate policy that we already have on the books, and I'll refer to Corporation Counsel to further explain the matter.
Bernie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I only had one request for copies of both the ordinance that replaced this. Ordinance 20 replaced the ET Ethics Code, and that was Supervisor Matamuro. I sent her both copies. They're both available, but in summary, I checked this afternoon to compare these two policies. The most recent one is the ordinance, and the ordinance 20 was adopted after a lot of work by the Executive Committee and this board in 2010. The older one, ET, kind of served as the basis for the ordinance. The policy, everything, all the terms of the policy are included in the ordinance and may be enhanced or updated, because the policy was enacted in 1986, and the ordinance was, there's a lot of laws that were enacted by the state, and questions that had come up on ethics from that time till this time, and we incorporated, or you incorporated those into the ordinance in 2010. So there's no need for the older policy any longer. It's all included in the ordinance chapter 20, and it probably should have referenced in the, maybe when we enacted the ordinance, that the older policy was repealed or superseded. But that's what we're doing tonight. That's what's proposed tonight.
Thank you. Corporation Counsel. Any questions? Supervisor Montemuro.
Thank you, Chairman. Sir, if I could just ask, is any of this new from the old one? I have a question in particular where it says any data released has to go through corporate counsel. I tried to do this line by line, but what's new is what I would like to know, because I feel like that's new, that there's censoring there, that any data that we do in the county has to go through you if we're going to share it with anyone. And that kind of raises a red flag to me. Is that new, that 4A?
I don't have the new text. I didn't bring it along tonight. I think the part you're referring to deals with confidential information, does it not?
But it's also public data. That's my concern about it, because as far as I'm concerned, we're working, this is public information. I'm not sure what would be that protected.
Yeah, I don't think it reads quite that way.
Well, I have a concern about that, because if this is really just housekeeping, then there should be no difference between this policy and the last one. And it seems a little different.
Both policies have passed.
This one's been passed already?
The ordinance is already, they're both already passed. The movement tonight is to repeal the older one, the 1986 one.
So this new one then was passed
Already
last
passed
year?
in 2010.
So it's already in effect?
That's correct.
In other words, then I can't even bring up anything about it. I didn't know that. All right,
Yeah.
I thought we were passing it now.
That one's already passed, but I think you and I can talk about that provision that
Sure.
you're referring to, because it's not as wide sweeping as you suspect.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
Seeing no more lights, the motion before you is to pass resolution number 27. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That's passed.
Resolution 35 from Human Service Committee, a resolution to approve the reappointment of Linda Weiss to the Kenosha County Board of Health. Hallman, yes. Boyd Frederick, yes. Johnson, yes. Decker, yes. Arrington, absent. Montemero, yes. Nudo, yes.
Supervisor Holman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd urge unanimous consent and approve 35, 36, and 37 upon being read.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded by Supervisor Decker.
Do you want me to read them?
Yes, please read them.
36 from Human Service Committee, a resolution to approve the reappointment of Mario Maritato to the Kenosha County Board of Health. Hallman, yes. Boyd Frederick, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Decker, yes. Arrington, excused. Montemero, yes. Nudo, yes. 37 from Human Service Committee, a resolution to approve the reappointment of Mark Midori to the Kenosha County Board of Health. Hallman, yes. Boyd Frederick, yes. Anita Johnson, yes. Decker, yes. Arrington, excused. Montemero, yes. Nudo, yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Holman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. I seem to have misplaced my notes on these. These are all reappointments to the Board of Health. Dr. Mariotto actually fulfills a requirement of a dentist needing to be on the Board of Health. Was unanimously approved by the Human Services Committee without any objection. Thank you.
Thank you. I was also at that meeting and checked on the attendance, which I always like to do with reappointments, and their attendance was satisfactory for the committee's approval. So, that being said, I see no lights. All those in favor of passing resolutions 35 through 37? Aye. Any opposed? Those pass.
Claims, Jill Dell, car damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Approval of the July 17th, 2012 minutes by Supervisor Montemero.
Supervisor Montemiro. It's been, Supervisor Montemiro, would you like to make a motion to approve the minutes? It's been moved by Supervisor Montemiro, seconded by Supervisor Skalitsky. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Those minutes are approved. Move to adjourn by Supervisor Decker, seconded by Supervisor Dodge. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.